And now, for your delectation, Books Unplugged would like to present Marvel Civil War. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me.
Here now, Books Unplugged.
Hi there. I'm Satan,
I'm Santa Claus.
and welcome to Books Unplugged, the show where we take a book that's been turned into a movie and we discuss it. Santa and I are here instead of Ed and Dan. Ed and Dan hired us to do a couple episodes of Books Unplugged because
That's right.
we did a great job at the Christmas episode.
Way better than they've ever done.
Way better, way more hits, way more clicks, way more likes, way more comments, way more everything. So we're doing
Today we're going to be doing Marvel Civil War.
That's
or
it. That's
the movie
it.
Captain America Civil War.
And before we get into it, Ed and Dan are going to be sending the comic book to a viewer.
Yes. All you have to do is click subscribe, leave a comment saying, "Hey, I'm interested."
And they will mail it to you in the continental United States, free of charge, no shipping, no nothing. We're just gonna put the names into a hat, and we're gonna smoke it, and whatever doesn't burn, that's who wins. And I'd like to thank you, Santa, for coming down to hell. Welcome.
My pleasure. I always get a chance to see some people and be like, "Hey, I told you so."
We're going to be discussing today the comic book, Captain America Civil War, Marvel Civil War. Basically, the story goes that Tony Stark, he plays a role in the death of a young man. The mother of the young man calls him out. He begins to work with the government to regulate and register superheroes, and some of them don't like it and don't want to be regulated, and some of them get on board. So it's kind of like Team Iron Man versus Team Captain America, and
Yes.
Team Captain America does not want to be registered, and that's it. And they battle it out. That's essentially the story.
Books Unplugged. Adaptation for your delectation now.
All right, so we'll just go right into it. Satan, Lucy, I want to know, what's your major love about the comic book and or movie?
Aside from when you call me Lucy, I will tell you. So my major love is the ambiguity, right? I love that friends fighting, right? But I love that, of course. But more than that, even I love the ambiguity, especially in the book. The movie doesn't capture the ambiguity quite as well. But there's no clear right and wrong. And it's kind of a neutral story. It's very easy to take one side or the other. It was very hard for me to pick which side was more evil.
I can see that. Yes.
How about you? What do you love?
Well, I'll say my major love of the comic book was how big the story was, with all the characters involved. I mean, you had the Wolverine and those X-Men people there, and you had those Fantastic Four people. I don't know much about them, but they were.
Yeah, I agree. It was a massive story. I mean, in the movie, not quite as much. Not quite as big.
Yeah, the movie, not.
It would have been
more
chaos.
of like an infighting of a little group.
Yeah, little group of factions,
superheroes.
little faction. So how about what'd you hate? What'd you hate about it?
In the comic book and in the movie was how easy all these superhero friends turned on each other. All of a sudden they're just fighting, punching, and then accidentally killing people in the comic book who were friends.
It's great. They're good buddies. Years of friendship just down the toilet.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do put 60 seconds on that clock.
All right. I'm gonna go. I thought the Spider-Man kid was charming. I liked him. Tom Holland, I believe his name is.
The movie. Okay. I loved how in the comic book everything wasn't really about the action going on in the comic book. There was more discussions and stuff like that going on, and I hated how in the movie it was all just action for the most part, and no real discussions like you got in the comic book.
Not enough in the movie, man. Not enough bad guys. There's one human, the German kid from Goodbye Lenin. He's not even. Scary.
That was one of my loves was how they had bad guys in the comic book tracking down the good guys.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
I loved in the comic book that flame guy. It's like you're reading him. He's kind of like a dick, kind of pompous. And then on the next page, he's trying to get into a club, and he's kind of being a dick again. But then he just gets straight up mob killed
Yeah, I like that
the
too.
by the people.
Yeah, just a mob of beating him. That was great. Yeah, it was it was good. I think one of my this is almost a major one. There's a minor one still though. In the movie, it's not a war, it's a fight. In the book, it's a war, but I mean, I don't know. It's like 5 dudes fighting 5 dudes. I've been in fights bigger than that. I never called them wars.
I loved in the comic book. There was that one page where the Punisher he like busts in, he saved Spider-Man, he's holding him in his arms. I
Yeah.
thought that was a great
Good scene.
illustration.
Yeah, it was a cool illustration too. Yeah, the art that's a big one for this.
Oh
The
yeah.
art. Yeah. I think our time's up.
Oh.
Ran out.
All right.
Ran out of time. So we can do. Was it in the book?
Yeah.
Lee, you want to start? Or you want me to?
Sure. I'll go ahead. Bucky in the book.
Bucky.
He was
was not
one with
the Ultimate Soldier. Was not in the book.
No,
Was not there. How about the reason Tony Stark gets into the whole thing?
The killing the. Yeah, I guess so. Kind of. I mean, well, the reason is like.
It's there. It's pretty similar, actually.
Oh, that's right. And then he shows up at the funeral, and then she spits on him.
Yeah. She's unhappy with him. So you, what's up?
Okay. The government wanted to put the superheroes on a registry.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
that's in there. How about the German bad guy with his ludicrous plan?
the nobody. I wrote, my note was he was the nobody superhero.
Yeah.
No, he was not. He was not in the book.
No, he was not there. There. How about the superheroes in prison? Superhero prison.
Yes, there was a superhero.
There was a prison.
That you went through that Stargate. I forget what it was called.
It's called Prison 42 in the book.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool because Douglas Adams and all that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
You got anything else?
Spider-Man was Spider-Man. Yeah. An older Spider-Man.
An older one, but he was there. That's actually, I really like the exposition as well when Spider-Man like reveals himself in the in the book, and he's like, "I am Spider-Man," takes off his mask, and his boss passes out. It's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, the what's his name with the flat top? Yeah.
Yeah, that dude
newspaper
with
guy.
with the mustache and the flat top. I thought that was.
I like that he looked the same too.
He did.
Books to boing, book and boing, and books to boing.
Should have been there. I got one. The best one. They should have absolutely had the Tony Stark team should have absolutely hired supervillains to round up the good guys.
Oh, definitely.
So cool.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and then you would add supervillains in there, and they're out, and it just makes the whole thing
sheep show.
You know what I mean? It's just like the whole thing goes like, "Oh, what are you doing, Stark?"
Definitely.
And like makes the other side right, and then they're like, "Well, if you're hiring supervillains, we're out of here." The whole thing goes to hell, and that's it. That would have made that movie way better.
Yeah, get rid of the nobody superhero, or what I thought would have been
Captain
better.
the Punisher and all.
It should have been. It should have been the lady who in the movie meets up with Stark and like shows him the picture of her son who died.
She would have made a much better villain.
Right? Yeah.
Bookity Books Unplugged.
So how about the best bit in the movie? What's the best bit in the movie?
So for me, I had one thing written down, and then I had to think about it some more because I had a little bit of trouble thinking about a best bit in this movie. But it's when the Don Cheadle Iron Man guy.
Yeah.
I don't know his superhero name, but it's Don Cheadle is the Iron Man.
Cheadlini. The Cheadlini the Great.
When he gets shot down by the red guy with the gem in his forehead.
That's
it's at the end of the airport fight.
Yeah.
And so
I got you. And
he falls and then he ends up like being paralyzed or whatever. But I thought that was great because it just solidified what they were just saying. These superheroes are fighting amongst themselves, you know,
It's dangerous.
and they're supposed to be friends. And now this
Dangerous.
one guy, he's paralyzed.
Yeah. Don the
Yeah.
Cheetah the
What
Great.
about you?
Yeah.
What did you like, Lucy?
My favorite part was when the fight at the airport fight. I thought, there was kind of long, and there was a lot of anger and hatred in there. I thought that was good.
How about did you have a best bit? Did you have a best bit for the comic book?
Oh yeah, best bit. The scene where Goliath dies, the where they kill Goliath. It's the scene where all of a sudden everything is just like, oh, this is it. The story turns left and it kind of goes dark, and then it stays dark,
Yeah.
right? You're like stays ambiguous, stays dark,
Oh,
and
that
it
was
makes everybody
terrible.
mad.
That was a terrible. I felt so bad. For me, was when the Punisher showed up. After he saved Spider-Man,
Oh yeah, that was
and
great.
and then he wants to join the club, and then some of the other superheroes like, oh no no. But then he goes, he helps him out, he climbs through whatever, he gets stuff. He
Then
got,
he
and
they,
then they
that's a
kick him out
Well,
after
because he
the.
guns a couple of bad guys down. It's
Yeah.
really confusing. Like, what is
The bad
going
guys
on?
show
Then
up. They're like, "Hey, if you want our help," and then he just like pulls out his guns. He's like, "Do, do, 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 do."
it shoots them down, and then they're
Yeah,
like, "You get out of here! You're killing bad
yeah,
guys." And it's like, but you guys kill bad guys. Like, what
yeah.
do you want?
Yeah.
What is it?
Punisher,
It's like
he has a line, and
he's out.
he shoots right across it.
Yeah, yeah. He's just like,
Yeah.
don't do
Captain
it. Like,
America is a lot more gritty in the comic book.
much grittier, much
Yeah.
grittier.
Books Unplugged. Which would you destroy?
All right, Satan, we have come to the end, and per the Books Unplugged format, we must now choose which to destroy, the book or movie, and which we'll be saving for posterity. So, Lucy, which will you destroy with your magical super strength powers?
Yeah, the movie. I destroy the movie.
Destroy the movie. Me too.
Yeah. Oh God. I kind of read like half the comic book and then watched the movie and then read the other half because I was kind of curious how they lined up. And sometimes
Yeah.
when I was kind of read half the book, I was like, man, this is a crazy story. So how is this going to play out in the film? Then you watch the movie and you're like, yeah, I mean, because the books, I mean, I don't know, it's pretty
It seems
great.
like the topics that
Great.
they took a harder look at those type of themes than what the movie kind of just was like, oh, you guys need to be registered, instead of like this whole.
Yeah, like a whole system. I mean, I think the movie did a couple things well, which was kind of express like, hey, how much damage they've caused, and the book
Yeah.
kind of ignored that. But I think in the book you just kind of know, right? Like it's kind of
Right.
there's a fair bit of assumed knowledge, but like if there were superheroes in the world,
Yeah.
we would all know that they like mess stuff up.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
But
if
then you
you had,
also get the idea that that then where you had the people beating up, or at one point at the end they had like the people ganging up on Captain America, right, holding him
yeah,
down,
yeah,
and then he realizes at the end
that he was wrong.
he
But
was
still,
wrong.
like even at the very end of the comic book, the last page is like, what side are you on? Like because
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
realizes he's wrong. But is he
But
right?
yeah,
Like,
in the movie, it seems like they make the point for the registry a lot harder in the movie. Like
oh yeah,
the redheaded girl with the glowy hands, she destroys everything.
yeah, yeah,
She should go to jail.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Comic book was better. Yeah.
Comic book was way better, obviously,
Yeah.
obviously. So if you have the time to skip the movie, and the comic book reads faster than the movie by a fair bit. It's a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
I was bored 20 minutes in.
And don't forget, if you would like a chance to win the Marvel Civil War graphic novel, then please subscribe, leave a comment saying you're interested, and then Ed and Dan will be picking a winner at some point, and they'll send it to you for free.
Thank you for joining Saint Nicholas and Lucifer, Beelzebub,
Satan and Santa.
Satan and Santa. Thanking you for joining us for yet another episode of Books Unplugged. We hope to see you again very soon. I believe Dan and Ed are going to be doing some episodes when they get back from Aruba. They're both in Aruba.
Ed and Dan would like to thank you for joining them on Books Unplugged, page to screen and all that's in between. If you like the vibe, please like and subscribe.
What's so wrong with a kid wanting a BB gun for Christmas?
The movie.
Yeah, it's a great book.
This book is awesome. It's a good movie.
It's an okay movie.
I mean, you're probably not going to read it anyways.
I think you should.
So which would you choose to chop up into little pieces and bury out in the woods to never see again?